Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard, and it is say it. It's a damn fine day to talk about a book. We're here for a book review, a bit of a flashback review. Today we're going to talk about Lady of the House by Grace R. Reynolds. Horror poetry, dark poetry, cool 1950s housewife vibe on the cover with the recipe cards and the, I don't know what you call that, but it was like isn't this like the shit you lined your drawers with back in the day? This is from Curious Corvid Publishing. And I dug this book. I'm going to give this book 4 stars. It will be, the reason I'm coming back to a lot of these books is one, because I don't actually own them or collect them or until I talk about them. So my process is to read as much as I can, to think about it, to talk about it here. And once I've talked about it here, it is in my archive. I don't know. What about the first 40 years of my reading life? Who knows? But that's what I do now. And so this is a book that I read earlier in the year when I wasn't doing this. I wasn't coming here and talking about books. And I'm trying to slowly revisit those. But this one will also be up for Poetry Collection of the Year, so I needed to kind of recollect my thoughts about it. So I did read this probably, I don't know if it was 5-6 months ago. It's been a while, so I had to refresh myself a little bit. I went back and looked at a few poems, but again, the cover is great. It's got the 1950s, June Cleaver type feel to it. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I showing you the ISBN? So let's talk about it. It's broken up into 3 sections, and those 3 sections are resent, dissent, content. So I'm going to speak a little bit off the cuff here because this is just a general feeling that I got from the book. I didn't go back and reread all the poems. I went back and found a few favorites so I could talk about them. But resent feels like the housewife that is starting to resent her lot, her place in this world, where where she's kind of under the thumb of that man she agreed to marry. Dissent is her descent from resentment into other things, into actions, into very, very dark thoughts and actions. And content is a little bit after the fact. The first poem in Content is upholstery cleaner. So, after we do the thing, we got to, clean the upholstery. But again, I really like this. It's just got that feel throughout of what it must have been like to be a wife, a suburban wife back in those days. So one of the earliest poems in the book is The Autumn of 1945, and it talks about women that kind of got their freedom, got to go out in the workforce and stuff while all the men were away at World War II, and kind of how that felt, how that looked when they came back from the war. So I'm going to read that one to you. It's only 2 stanzas. The Autumn of 1945. The relentless waves of men rolled in with the tide, salty with trauma, ready to resume their former lives. But what about the women who answered the call to war, heavy in mechanics and munition, ready to ship to foreign shores, their independence drowned by the likes of the man of her house, eroding like fossils suppressed deep underground, out of which her resentment would sprout and bloom towards her ragged, tired, and unassuming groom. Dig that idea. There's one here called An Apology to Stained Sheets and Smells That Won't Wash Out. I can't get you out no matter how hard I scrub the smell of pennies. Dead lavender crumbs and ground up rosemary leaves cannot mask crimson pools. What if I told you these delights were born from pain? Would you forgive me? I'll never be clean, my horrors woven in threads, stained sheets where love is dead. So one thing she does in here, and it happens multiple times, is there are recipes, like real recipes. Like I had to double read some of them to make sure there's nothing dark and bloody slipped into these ingredients and directions. But then they're always followed up with like a poem, a recipe matched to a poem. So this one, and there's all kinds in here, lemon wedge and sun tea and this one's coconut cream pie. I'm going to read this one to you. I'm not going to read the ingredients or the directions. You get the drift. You get the gist. It is a recipe. But then after that, after we have the ingredients for the coconut cream pie and the directions on how to make it, what do you do when your husband calls you early in the day to excitedly tell you that he got a raise at the company you used to work at? The one that sent you packing to open up space for men like him, only to realize how easily you could be replaced. You bake him a goddamn pie, slap a smile on your face, and let yourself die a little inside. So yeah, cool like recipe poem combos, and I love the cover look, simple but freaky kind of, right? You know, the blood on the drawer liner there or whatever. Think of all the things in the kitchen that can be used as a odd weapon. And the general descent of the book. I mean, the middle part is called descent, but resent, dissent, content. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars. I had to come back and talk about it so I can then talk about it at the end of the year when I start to pull together my top 5 poetry collections of the year. This is Lady of the House by Grace R. Reynolds. Again, this is Curious Corvid Publications. Well read, Beard. It's my brief flashback review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.